Hi, it's Alexandra. In this video, I'll be chatting about the different types of and uses for an unreliable narrator, with examples from a favourite book of mine, The Haunting of Hill House. I hope this video challenges the stereotypes surrounding unreliable narrators, as well as demonstrating their versatility. Warning: full spoilers for The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson, but it's over 60 years old now, so at this point, it's kind of on you. The unexpected uses of an unreliable narrator. The classic unreliable narrator. The unreliable narrator, a moniker often associated with characters with nefarious intentions and a backstory littered with misdeeds. But why shouldn't it be? Lies and betrayal are the hallmarks of some of the evilest characters, and having them lie to the audience is an excellent way of showing how immoral they are. Having the protagonist betray the reader will hurt, and could, understandably, turn the audience against a character they previously liked. I'm a fan of this type of unreliable narrator, but there isn't just one archetype that suits this narration style. Unreliable narration is a very versatile tool, and can be used for characters of a less devious disposition. It can also be used to show a character is insecure, delusional, lacks an identity, or is mentally unwell, without them being anything close to evil. My favourite example of this narration style is in The Haunting of Hill House, written by Shirley Jackson in 1959. It follows Eleanor, Theodora, Luke, and Dr. Montague as they try to confirm whether there is paranormal activity in Hill House. Conveniently, this book happens to be the most unconventional application of unreliable narration I have read too. Shirley Jackson doesn't use unreliable narration to characterize her protagonist, Eleanor, as dangerous or corrupt, but instead, quite the opposite. The insecure narrator. At the beginning, Eleanor lies, but with very unimportant details. When she describes her home to the other characters, she says she has decorated it with a cup of stars and tiny stone lions. Readers know this isn't true. These are merely objects that she has observed on her drive to Hill House, not things she owns. This appears to be harmless wishfulness and her earnest attempts to impress her new companions. Unreliable narration, if used in this way, can quickly characterize a narrator as insecure. In your own writing, a character might say they're 30 when they're actually 25 because they're insecure of being thought of as inexperienced. A character could pretend not to have allergies in order to eat the same food as their friends due to them wanting to fit in. It's important these little lies are minor and don't cause anybody harm, or else they could run the risk of appearing manipulative. How to stop an unreliable narrator from being disliked. Though the story is written in limited third person, the audience is mostly unaware of how often Eleanor lies. But even as Eleanor's lies escalate, as a reader, I never held them against her. But how did Shirley Jackson manage this? Through Eleanor's regret. On a whim, Eleanor tells another character that she's 34 years old when she's actually 32. She expresses frustration and regrets the lie immediately, was impulsive, and she gained nothing from it. This shows us how uncalculated her lying is, and how it isn't meant to manipulate. Having a character show remorse for their lying is a great way to offset it, so that it is clear it is a shameful impulse, a fault they wished they could control. The mentally unwell narrator. One of Eleanor's most important characteristics is her tentative grip on reality. Eleanor makes an offhand comment to the other characters that, all three of you are in my imagination. None of this is real. It is immediately obvious that she is, to some degree, detached from reality. A narrator can't be expected to accurately relay what is occurring if they don't know what's going on themselves. This is how unreliable narration can help to portray a character as disconnected or delusional. Also, it is important to assert that being mentally unwell does not make someone less valuable, more dangerous, or less deserving of respect than a person who is mentally well. Whatever that means. Being mentally unwell does not make Eleanor a bad person, and a less reliable form of narration is simply a necessary tool to display her outlook on life. Delusional characters can be dangerous, just as all people are capable of being so, but Eleanor is only a danger to herself. Her character sits between realms of dreamy and troubled, and it makes the reader truly worry for her physical safety. Similar offhand comments could be made by your characters to show that their view of the world is potentially skewed, which in turn can prompt the reader to think twice before they believe the validity of events that transpire from their perspective. In lighter uses, it can be used to show a character is dreamy and that they view the world through a more unconventional lens. The characterless narrator. Eleanor's light grasp on reality is connected to her lack of identity. This might sound like a red flag to many writers. Wouldn't you want your character to be vibrant and full of life? Usually yes, but it is also interesting to experiment with the complete opposite. An important part of Eleanor's backstory is that she spent the last 12 years of her life caring for her unloving and sickly mother. She was made to take the role of a carer, while still at the beck and call of her mother, a parent and a child, simultaneously. She hasn't had the opportunity to become her own person and venture out into the world before staying at Hill House. This is one of the main reasons for her compulsive lying. Her lack of a life embarrasses her, so she constructs one to fit in. You can see that when she talks to Theodora, someone she looks up to. I have a little place of my own, an apartment like yours, only I live alone. Smaller than yours, I'm sure. I'm still furnishing it, buying one thing at a time, you know, to make sure I get everything absolutely right. White curtains. I had to look for weeks before I found my little white lions in each corner of the mantel. And I have a white cat and my books and my records and my pictures. It is hard to believe she's lying. Her words are earnest and self-deprecating, especially when she says her apartment is smaller than Theodora's. She even includes so many personalized details. That is why it comes as such a shock to us when it is revealed this was all false when Eleanor says, "I haven't any apartment. I made it up. I sleep on a cot at my sister's, in the baby's room." Why Eleanor lies makes sense and does not prevent her from being a good person. Think back to your characters who have lived troubled lives. Would having them want to hide parts of their life make sense? Again, they don't have to have a past seeped in criminal activity to have a reason to lie. Perhaps a girl who was bullied at her previous school tells her new classmates that she used to be very popular. A character could say that their parents are dead to explain why they don't see them anymore. But actually, their parents are alive, but were abusive. So the character lies to stop people from asking questions. Lying often disguises inner pain. So what pain could your characters be hiding? Lying can also conceal perceived weaknesses. So what flaw is your character trying to cover? We don't think of good, humble people as liars, but this limited view of morality is not realistic. I'm sure everyone has told little lies about themselves to strangers. Sometimes it's easier to lie than to share personal and unflattering information. For Eleanor, lying is much easier than opening up about her hard life and deep insecurities. She doesn't want to leave herself open to judgment. Lying isn't just a tool for manipulation. For most of us, it's a defense mechanism. Instead of alienating us, Eleanor's unreliable narration only endears her further to the reader and makes it easier for us to relate to her. Don't be afraid to let your characters lie. It is often the things we hide that are the most revealing. Thank you for watching my video, it means a lot to me. If you want to read the blog post this was based on, go to the description. Want more? For more videos on writing advice, subscribe to my YouTube channel. For more content in general, check out my website, Alexandra. And if this video made you want to lie compulsively, give me a like, just for fun.